Saying goodbye is never easy. These memorial services tried to make the grieving process a little more bearable by doing things a little differently. One man wanted his funeral to mimic his favorite movie. Roger Conway died from type 2 diabetes and organ failure at age 41. As a lifelong fan of Star Wars, he wanted a send-off fit for a Jedi. Stormtroopers led the hearse that carried his body. Mourners wore costumes and Star Wars t-shirts, and the flowers gave him the warrior recognition he'd always wanted now that he's one with the Force. But other space enthusiasts wanted the final frontier to be their final resting place.
We're looking at the first launch ever to take cremated remains into space.
In 1997, the remains of 24 people were poured into lipstick-sized vials and launched out of this world. The most famous person among them was Gene Roddenberry, who brought his visualization of space to the screen by creating Star Trek. Roddenberry's widow said this is exactly what he would have wanted.
He would have given anything to have been able just once to, take that trip or go up into space.
We have ignition and liftoff of it.
For the loved ones left behind, they were glad to be able to grant their family and friends wishes of going into space, even if they could only be realized in death. But there's at least one place that ashes are not welcome: Disney World. While many people would like to spend eternity in the happiest place on Earth, the company says dumping human remains on their properties is strictly prohibited and unlawful. That hasn't stopped some people from trying to honor their family members' final requests.
She had told us she wanted them on the front lawn of the Disney castle. However, when we got to Disney, there is no front lawn of the castle. So we had to kind of improvise, and there was like a side yard to the castle, and we're like, well, Mom, I hope this is good enough.
But if the Disney staff catches you, they will escort you off the property and then get a vacuum to clean up the ashes. This was a more acceptable celebration. 1,700 students in New Zealand remembered a beloved teacher with a traditional haka. The haka is an ancient Maori war dance which displays strength, pride, and unity. It was traditionally used on the battlefield, but was also performed as a show of peace. This time it was used to show appreciation for a teacher that left his mark on so many young minds. And finally, at least one famous body refuses to go the way of all flesh. Soviet leader Vladimir Lenin died in 1924, but his embalmed remains can still be viewed at his tomb in Moscow's Red Square. Lenin started the Bolshevik Party and later became the head of the world's first communist state after the Russian Revolution. When he died at age 53, his body was moved several times throughout the country where people stood for hours in the cold to pay their respects. Lenin's body was preserved using a secret blend of chemicals. It's closely monitored, and every 18 months it's cleaned and re-embalmed. The Soviet state that Lenin founded may be gone, but the popularity of this tourist attraction means that people can continue to say goodbye after almost 100 years. This is InsideEdition.com.